What's going on, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, and we back at it with another NFL weekly prediction. And it's week 14, and we about to get started with our week 14 predictions. So last week I went 13-3, which I did really good last week. Overall is 131-64, which I did awesome. So yeah, also we got these 16s are on a bye. We got the Broncos, Colts, Commanders, Patriots, and Ravens and Texans. So we got 16s on a bye week this week. So yeah, so by the way, we're gonna get started here. So before I give you my week 14 predictions for this week, don't forget to put the thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos and my weekly predictions, and you can see all my playlists. And comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning week 14. So anyway, though, I picked the Packers to win 27-23, and they lost 34-31. So we're gonna get started with the rest of the games. So we got this first game. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars facing against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are favored by -3. Um, Obviously, this game right here. Um, two of the worst teams in the league are playing. Tennessee is Jacksonville, is coming off a loss, and Tennessee's coming off a huge loss against the Commanders. Obviously, I think this game right here is going to come down to the wire, though. Obviously, no Trevor Lawrence, so it's going to be Mac Jones. Could Mac Jones give the Jacksonville Jags a bounce back win? Who knows? Tennessee, was really poor last week. And Jacksonville, kind of kept the game a little closer than the Texans. I thought they kind of, stayed competitive, though. I think they can keep this interesting, though. But obviously, though, with no Trevor Lawrence, I don't know if Jacksonville's going to be able to do enough offensively to throw the ball because basically, though, their passing offense has been an issue, especially with Trevor Lawrence being out. But can Mac Jones give him a boost? Who knows? But at the same time, the Jags defense is prolifically bad, and their offense is prolifically bad. So at the end of the day, the Titans pretty much have an underrated defensive line. I think they can get pressure. They can get after Mac Jones. I think they can stop the run better. Their secondary, I feel like, should be healthy enough to play some man coverage. I think they'll do enough in the secondary to cover against Brian Thomas and the Jags receiving courts. And on the other hand, I think Tony Pollard is going to have a huge game. I feel like he's going to run for. I feel like he's going to have a huge game. I feel like he's going to run for a couple yards, and he's going to run over that Jags defense. I think the Titans. I feel like the Titans pass rush. I feel like Will Levis will have a good game here. I think he can do enough to slice and dice a Jags secondary up. So basically, though, I'm gonna pick the Titans to win because I think the Titans, well, I think the Titans should win this game. I'm gonna take them to cover as well. I don't know. I'm probably gonna say Jacksonville covers because I like how the way Jacksonville, was able to hang around against Houston. I think they'll do enough to hang around against the Titans as well. I'm probably gonna say Titans can win by a touchdown. Maybe they win 23-17, something like that. or like 16-10, something like that. I think it's going to be more of a defensive game because I feel like Jacksonville's defense last week was pretty solid against Houston, and they did enough to win, and they did enough to keep it close. I think they'll do against Tennessee. So I'm just gonna take the Jags to cover, but I'll take Tennessee to win the game. Next game we have the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by -6. Obviously, I got the Dolphins winning this game because they're at home. They're just a better team for right now. They got the better coach, and I think Tua. The quarterbacks are a little bit even though, in my opinion. The Dolphins. I feel like they pretty much have a better defense than the Jets. They're offensively, they're better. They have a better offense than the Jets. Um, the Jets, they don't have Brees Hall. I don't think the Jets are gonna be able to run the ball effectively. I think they'll have to be more consistent to pass the ball. Like, the Dolphins defense is really not good at covering. But I thought last week the Jets kind of looked it pretty good against. I thought the Jets really played really well against the Seahawks last week. I was really impressed by how the way their offense performed and how the way the defense performed against Seattle until they almost blew the game. And they kind of hung around the game. But I have a feeling that I feel like this game right here could totally be a defensive game. I feel like the Jets defense can totally give them problems. Because, like they did before, because we seen that the Jets defense gave them problems. I think their defense can hang around this game. But, they got to the Jets have to rely on, that Sauce Gardner is ruled out of this game. So I feel like with Sauce Gardner out, I feel like, they won't even have enough good corners, especially they got to play against a backup corner, especially a backup against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle is totally a terrible matchup. So, and Jonnu Smith, he's going to have a huge game because I don't think the Jets really have, any safeties. Like, they don't really have the safeties, to cover against. They just don't really have the safeties, to cover against, against Jonnu Smith. Because Jonnu Smith's been awesome and he's going to have a huge game. So, yeah. And I think the Dolphins can run the ball better, especially against a high school defense. And we know the Jets defense has been very pathetic. I have a feeling the Dolphins offense is probably going to overpower them. Like they will. I think it's going to be a little closer than we expected to. Maybe it could be closer for a couple seconds and maybe, maybe the Jets come back on top with it. I don't know. I don't see it, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be closer. I'm gonna say Dolphins win by a field goal. I'm probably gonna say like 20-17, something like that. I think it's gonna be more of a defensive game. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins to win. I'll take the Jets to cover, I guess. I think Jets will do enough to cover this game. So yeah, so I like the Dolphins. So I like to keep it close there. I like the Dolphins to win this game easily to keep their season alive. And the Jets are totally close to being eliminated. And they could be playing for next year. All right, this next game we got the Atlanta Falcons against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are favored by -6. Obviously, I think this game right here can totally go either way a little bit. Atlanta's coming off a loss against the Chargers. Minnesota is coming off of a close win against the Cardinals. Obviously, the Vikings offense did not look pretty good against the Cardinals until they end up coming back with it. I mean, their defense is in a point where they're getting a little bit pushed around a little bit. I mean, their defense is totally getting shredded a little bit, but their defense was not really playing as good as like it's supposed to be. Like the offense, But I have a feeling that the Falcons, can do enough to keep it close in this game. But their offense has been playing really bad. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's been turning the ball over a little bit, and he had 4 interceptions against the Chargers. Um, can Kirk Cousins get his revenge on against the Vikings? Like, who knows? Kirk Cousins, he's really good against good defenses, but he has not been great late against great defenses as of late. But in my opinion, I think this game right here could totally be close. Um, the Falcons defense was playing okay against the Chargers a little bit. Like, they only allowed 17 points, but the Atlanta just didn't do enough to win because of the turnovers they had. Now, the Vikings defense is one of the best in football. And, like I said, they stop the run better. Like, they don't allow you to run them over. And their secondary, plays sticky coverage. We can see this thing happening again. Now, here's the thing. Now, the Vikings offense against this Falcons defense is a terrible matchup because, the Falcons don't have much of a pass rush. They don't have much of a good secondary. And I feel like Justin Jefferson is probably going to be a problem for the Falcons. And Jordan is such a same thing with Jordan Addison, TJ Hockenson. Aaron Jones can be a factor in this game. Like, the Falcons' run defense is not as good, but last week their run defense played okay last week. They only allowed 39 rushing yards, but that was a different Chargers team, without J.K. Dobbins. So, by the way, I have a feeling that the Falcons should be able to keep this game close and competitive, though. But I don't think they're going to be able to do enough. I don't think that the Vikings are. I don't think Atlanta's going to get it done against this Vikings defense. So I think the Vikings defense is going to find a way to at least like get pressure, like get after the quarterback, like. And I think the secondary can do enough. They pretty much have some good corners there. But Gilmore being out kind of sucks. But Harrison Smith or Cameron Bynum against Kyle Pitts, I mean, that's a good matchup. Um, so yeah, basically, I expect this game to be close. I think Atlanta can hang around a little bit. I mean, I don't like how the way the Vikings defense has been playing a little bit as of lately. I mean, think about this. They're starting to let teams hang around. Like, they just let Arizona hang around and they let the Bears hang around. Like 2 straight weeks, their defense has not been playing as great because they're them letting teams hang around. I have a feeling Atlanta's gonna hang around in this game a little bit. So, by the way, I'm gonna take Minnesota to win this game. I'll take Atlanta with the points. I think Atlanta's gonna hang around this game, like I said, because they're gonna move the ball, but I don't think they're gonna run the ball as much because I feel like Kirk Cousins, he's probably gonna do enough to he's gonna do enough against the Vikings defense, like slice and dice it up. And I feel like they're gonna get their offense going a little bit. So, by the way, I think the Vikings win like 20-13 or like 23-20 or 20-16, something like that. I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game. So I will take the Vikings to win. I'll take them to cover as well because I'll take Atlanta with the points. But Minnesota, they're just a more complete team and pretty much have the better coaching staff and they have the better defense. So yeah, that's pretty much why. Next game, we have the New Orleans Saints against the New York Giants. The Saints are favored by 5. Obviously, I got the Saints winning because the Saints are the better team. They got the better quarterback. Um, they don't have their offensive weapons, but I have a feeling the Giants can make this interesting though. Now, the Giants defense did play okay against the Cowboys, but they just didn't do enough to win. But I don't know if Malik Neighbors is gonna play. Which I think he will. But because if he plays, he could be a huge factor. It could be a problem for the Saints. But I have a feeling that the Saints defense is a lot better. And I feel like they can get some. I feel like their defense can get some pressure and get after the Giants quarterback. And I think they'll find a way to stop the run a little bit better. Now the Saints can totally find a way to run the ball a little bit better as long as their offensive line plays really good. But the Saints kind of hung around the game against the Rams last week, and they could have won, but they just didn't do enough to win. But I have a feeling that the Saints are gonna find a way to at least like pull it off. Like they pretty much have like the pass rush to get after the quarterback. Now, the Giants are questionable at quarterback position, which I don't know who's going to be playing because Tommy DeVille's dealing with the injury. Now it's going to be Drew Lock. So yeah. So yeah, I think the game right here is going to be close and could be competitive though. But I have a feeling it could be a defensive game. But I feel like the Saints can win by one score. I'll probably take them to cover as well. So yeah. So I got the Saints both ways. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia is fair by -14. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way. Um, um, obviously, this is a big number. Now, the Carolina Panthers have totally been fighting for a couple of weeks. I like how the way their offense is playing. Bryce Young is totally playing really well. Um, his offense, I mean, the offense is playing like really good, and the defense is totally playing as well. I like how the way they've been playing for like the past 2 weeks. They kind of really hung around against the Panthers, and they kind of hung around against the Bucks. I mean, they've been showing a lot of fight lately. I mean, against the Chiefs actually. So they've been showing a lot of fight recently, and the Eagles, pretty much are fighting as well. I mean, the Eagles, their defense is one of the best in football. They're getting after the quarterback. They stop the run okay. Like, they don't allow you to run them over. Their secondary is playing really good. Like, Eagles defense is playing at a high level right now. Um, So, by the way, I think this game can totally be interesting, though. Now, the question is, can Carolina do enough offensively? But I don't really know if they will because I feel like Bryce Young is probably going to struggle to get some guys, find guys open. Because I think the Eagles are probably just going to their secondary is going to find a way to lock the Panthers receivers down because their receiving core is not as good as the Eagles. And the Panthers secondary it's not good, but AJ Brown, Devonta Smith are just going to be a tough matchup for the Panthers secondary. Like the Panthers defense won't find answers for it. So I think the Eagles defense will find a way to at least handle that. And they're and the Panthers really can't stop the run really good. And I feel like Saquon Barkley is gonna have a huge game. Like, he's gonna have a 200-yard game. Like, he's just totally gonna tear them apart. Like, he's gonna run over the Panthers defense. Since the Panthers defense can't stop the run and they can't really run the ball effectively. And the Eagles got a better running game. So I think the Eagles win. So yeah, I think the Eagles win. I'll take the Eagles to cover that big spread as well because I don't think the Panthers are going to do enough offensively. I think the Eagles are going to win like 34-17, something like that, or like 38-13. Like, I see a semi blowout like that. I see it though. I see the Eagles winning like a 17-point win for them. So yeah, that's why I'm just gonna take the Eagles both ways. I'm taking them to win and cover because they have the better quarterback. They have better coaching. They're at home, and they're just a more complete team. So yeah, that's pretty much why I think Philly should win and cover. Next game, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are favored by -6. Um, obviously, The game right here should totally go either way. Um, Obviously, I mean, the Browns totally coming off a disappointing loss against the Broncos. The Steelers are coming off a big win against the Bengals. Obviously, it's Jameis Winston. I don't know if you're gonna do a pregame speech again because basically he did his best pregame speech ever. And last week was like really really fun game to watch. Like against the Broncos, like Jameis Winston with 2 pick sixes. I mean that was crazy though. Like I couldn't believe he did that. So I think the Steelers, the Steelers pretty much have a better defense in my opinion, but the Browns are on the road playing against a really good defense like the Steelers, and the Steelers offense is totally playing better. I mean, Russell Wilson really balled out last week. I mean, they ran the ball, they were throwing the ball, like they were like really consistent on offense. I feel like they can do it again against the Browns because the Browns defense is really not really good against, is not good on the road, but I feel like they can keep this closer. But I don't know if the Browns gonna be able to do enough to win because the offense is pretty much better with Jameis Winston. But I think it's probably gonna be. I expect the game to be a lot closer than we expected to. Like I don't really see them getting blowed out, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than we expected. Maybe the Steelers win, maybe they do. I don't really know if they're going to be able to do enough to win, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to be a closer game than we expected. But at the same time, this game right here is interesting though. But I have a feeling that the Steelers could totally win. But I have a feeling the Steelers could totally blow them out though. But we could totally see it happening though if they get up early. I mean, if they get up early, they can totally blow the Browns out. But I don't know because usually the Steelers don't really blow bad teams off. Like they keep it close and competitive though. But at the same time, Cleveland is looking to like play for next year because I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, and the Steelers are looking to like clinch the playoffs. Like the Steelers are totally like looking like the best team in football. So I do like the Steelers to win this game because Steelers are the more complete team and have the better quarterback. And they have better coaching as well. So yeah. So by the way, I think they do keep this game close. They do keep it competitive though. But I do see the Steelers win this game. But I'm gonna say the Steelers win like 24-20 or like 27-20, something like that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and just take them to cover as well. So I'm just gonna take them both ways. But obviously, I just don't think the Browns are gonna do enough to win offensively. But they will keep it interesting though. But I have a feeling that the Steelers should win and cover. They're the better team, better coach. They pretty much have the better quarterback as well, and they have more to play for. So yeah, that's why I think the Steelers win and cover. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by 6.5. Obviously, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a win against the Panthers, and the Raiders have lost a heartbreaker to the Chiefs. Obviously, the Raiders looked pretty good against the Chiefs. I thought their defense played outstanding against the Chiefs. Like offensively, they were moving the ball. Like Aiden O'Connell looked solid. Brock Bowers had a good game. Um, they ran the ball a little bit okay, but they're facing against a Bucks defense that's really bad. Like the Bucks defense, yeah, they played good against the Giants, but that's the Giants. I thought their defense did not really play as good at the end. Like basically, the offense was not looking like the offense looked pretty bad though, but the defense was pretty good. So yeah, but obviously, I see this game going either way. I see this game being a lot closer, but at the same time, I feel like the Raiders can totally make this game interesting though. I feel like their defense is good enough to like make it more interesting because I feel like they're really good at stopping the run. I mean, they can stop the pass a little bit okay. We know the Bucks defense does that too, but it's Todd Bowles facing against a young quarterback. He's facing against a young quarterback, and I feel like Todd Bowles will have a better, good game plan in this game. He'll find a way to confuse Aiden O'Connell and probably like find a way to like put some pressure on him. Like maybe the Bucks defense gets some pressure on it, and especially 'cause the Raiders' O line is not great. Their defense, the Bucks have a better secondary, but the Raiders' defense, I don't think their secondary doesn't really have any guys who can really cover. I feel like Mike Evans, Cade On has a good game. I feel like Bucky Irving can have another good game if he's playing. I feel like they can run the ball a little bit better than the Raiders. So yeah, I think this game can be closer, but I think the Bucks find a way to win. I think they'll. I'll take the Raiders to cover the 6.5 because I feel like that the Raiders can keep it close and I feel like they can hang around this game. And the Bucks defense sometimes can't cover. I think it's gonna be a field goal type of game. I'm gonna say the Bucks win like 19-16, something like that. I'm gonna say they win by a field goal. So yeah, so I think it's gonna be lower scoring game. So I'm gonna take the Bucks to win, but I'll take the Raiders to cover because the Bucks have more to play for because they have the better quarterback and have better coaching. They're the more complete team. So yeah, so that's pretty much why. Next game we have the Seattle Seahawks versus Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are favored by 2.5. Obviously, I call this a trap game because this game can totally go either way. Because basically, though, it's hard to choose because the Seahawks, are totally coming off a little bit of a back-to-back wins. The Cardinals are coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Vikings. Obviously, I think they'll find a way. The Cardinals can find a way to the Cardinals defense is playing really well. I think I like how the way they're getting pressure. I mean, they're stopping the run. I mean, they're starting to pass okay. Kyler's totally playing really well. He's playing like a top 10 quarterback right now. Um, I like how the way they run the ball. They're passing the ball a little bit better. Their defense on the other side, Seattle's doing the same thing really well. I mean, their defense is playing really good and their offense is playing really well. We can totally see a little bit of an offensive game, but at the same time, Seattle doesn't have a good offensive line, and the Cardinals don't have a great defensive line, but their defense is playing good, which I think they'll find a way to stop the run better. And Seattle has been a little weak against the run. Maybe James Conner has a good game. The Seahawks, we know they have a better secondary than the Cardinals, but I feel like the Cardinals offense can overpower them a little bit. But at the same time, Kyler Murray is good against pressure, and I have a feeling like he can use his legs. Seattle, finds a way to win. But I have a feeling this game could be a lot closer than we expected because here's the thing. Seattle has much of a defense. Like, here's the thing. I think the game can totally be a lot closer. But at the same time, I have a feeling that it could be high scoring. But at the same time, Seattle has a bad offensive line, and the Cardinals have a better O line, and their O line is playing better. I have a feeling they can block the Seahawks really good because in that last matchup, the Cardinals didn't really do nothing on offense. Like, basically, the Seattle's defense was all over them. So maybe they do it again, but I don't know because I feel like if Seattle wins, I feel like they hang on first place in this division, depending on to see what the Rams or the Niners do. But if the Cardinals win, I feel like it can be interesting though. I think it could be a tiebreaker. Because the NFC West is wide open for anybody to win the division. But at the same time, this is a tricky one though. It's a coin flip, but here's what I'm gonna do. I am gonna go with the Cardinals to win this game. I know it sounds funny, but I'm going with the Cardinals to win this game. I feel like the Cardinals are gonna split with them. I feel like they're gonna play better offensively. I feel like they're gonna move the ball. They're gonna run the ball better. I feel like they can throw the ball better, and I think their defense can do enough to crowd the box. So yeah, so basically, I'm just gonna take the Cardinals to win. I'll take Seattle with the points, I guess. I don't know. I don't love it, but I think the Cardinals can win by offensive touchdown. I'm gonna say 31-24, something like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Cardinals to win. I'll take Seattle to cover. Next game, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Los Angeles Rams. The Bills are favored by 3.5. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way, but obviously, the Bills are totally coming off a big win against the Niners, and the Rams are totally coming off a win against the Saints. Now, I have a feeling that some people could be picking the Rams to win because the Bills could totally be due for a loss because, they were lucky to, win in the snow last week against the Niners, against the injured Niners team. Now, here's the thing. This is East or West Coast, which is tough to play at, and LA is kind of a tough place to play at, though, because, the Rams are good at home. But here's the thing. The Rams are healthy on offense, and I feel like they can probably do enough to hang around this game because their offense is totally playing well and their defense is playing really well. Stafford's playing lights out. The thing is that here's the thing about the Bills. The Bills pretty much have a better defense. In my opinion, I feel like their defense is a lot better because their defense is playing really good. I mean, they're getting pressure. They're taking the ball away. They're running the ball effectively. Passing game is really good. O-line is solid and all that. I feel like this game right here is going to be very, very close, and I think it's going to be interesting, though. But at the same time, I have a feeling that, the Bills could totally totally find a way to move the ball, which I think they're gonna move the ball in this game, like they will. Like, don't get me wrong, they're gonna do it, and the Rams are gonna do it as well. But I don't think the Rams, have much of a pass rush, to like get after the quarterback, because Josh Allen he's probably gonna go Superman. He's gonna make some magic happen, and the Rams secondary, I don't think is that special. Like, they traded Trevon. They traded Tre'Davious White away, so their corners are young. I mean, they're young, but they're not as good. Like the Rams, I don't think they really have any guys that can really cover against the Bills. Like, I feel like Amari Cooper, Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, they're all gonna have good games. Like, if Keon Coleman plays, I mean, he could have a good game, and if Kincaid play, I think he will. But they're questionable to play, but I highly doubt they'll play. Like, they're gonna have a good game. James Cook's gonna have a good game as well. The defense, I think they can find. I mean, the defense have found ways, to like get after Stafford. Because last time when these two teams played, I thought the Bills' defense did play lights out in that game. Like, they literally led the Rams into 10 points, where their offense was not playing really good, and the Rams' defense was totally playing soft coverage. I have a feeling that Josh Allen's probably going to be a little bit too much for the Rams defense to handle, and I don't think the Rams defense will have answers for the passing game as well. So even though it's in LA, I'm taking the Bills to win, because the Bills are just a better team overall, and I think they got the better quarterback as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I think the Bills find a way to win. I'll take them to cover, I guess. I'm gonna say like 34-30, something like that. More of a higher scoring game. So yeah, I'll take the Bills to win. I'll take the Bills to cover. Next game, we have the Chicago Bears versus San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 3.5. Now, obviously, most people are picking the Bears to win because the Niners are dealing with some injuries, though. But I really don't care, because here's the thing: because the Niners, have one of the best quarterbacks. Now, the Niners got one of the best quarterbacks in Purdy. Now, we understand that the Niners going to be without Jordan Mason and Chris McCaffrey. So now, instead, it's going to be Isaac Granadu. I feel like the Niners, I don't really know they're going to be able to run the ball effectively, though. But I think they're probably going to have to be reliable on passing the ball a little effectively, because, the Niners offense, was not looking good for a few weeks. And I feel their offense is gonna I feel like it's gonna play better this game. Now the old line, I mean, Trent Williams out again, which that hurts. Now Nick Bosa could probably be out as well because he hasn't practiced all week. Hufanga and Greenlaw coming off IR, I feel like they should be able to play. I highly doubt they're gonna play because they're activated off the injured reserve. I don't know if they're gonna play. And then you got Leonore, who's healthy again. So their secondary is getting healthier. So I feel like the Niners, can find a way, on defense to like give Caleb some issues. Because here's the thing: it's a rookie quarterback facing against a really good defense like the Niners. Like, I don't see it happening. But yeah, the Bears do have a new head coach though, and they have an intern head coach, which I don't know is going to be able to help them. But I feel like with their new offensive coordinator, it's starting to help. But we're going to see how that goes. But at the end of the day, I think the Niners are going to find a way to like win this game. I feel like they get back on track this week after losing 3 straight games, because they're getting angry and they're frustrated, and they really want to like clinch the playoffs. They're looking towards the playoff spot, because I feel like if they win, I feel like they'll be 6-7 and keep their season alive. But I have a feeling that the Niners need to win this game. They want to keep their season alive. I don't really care about the injuries. They really need to win this game, because if they do not win this game, they're totally close to being done. So, yeah, that's the bottom point. I think the Niners are going to find a way to win this game. I think they'll find a way to at least, like, move the ball. And I feel like they're going to have a better game plan offensively. Kyle Shanahan's going to, like, have a better game plan offensively. And I feel like defensively they'll have a good game plan as well because their defense was not playing good for a few weeks. So, yeah, I feel like the Niners win because they're the better coach team. They're at home, better quarterback. So, yeah, so that's pretty much why I think the Niners win. But I'll take the Bears to cover. I think the Bears, I feel like they're going to keep it close. I mean, the Bears have been very competitive lately, though, but they just haven't been doing enough to win close football games. So I'm gonna say the Niners win like 20-16, 23-20. Maybe the Niners win by a field goal. Maybe they win by a defense getting a stop. So yeah. So I like the Niners both ways in this game. Next game we have the Los Angeles Chargers against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by -4. Obviously, this game right here can go either way. Now, most people are picking the Chargers to win because the Chargers might split with the Chiefs because, the Chargers lost them last time and the Chargers lost by one score. But the question is, can the Chiefs find a way to do it? I don't know. Can the Chargers do it? I don't really know because if Jim Harbaugh has a good game plan, I feel like the Chargers find a way to win this game because their defense is playing really well. The offense is playing really well. Ladd McConkey's playing really well. He looks to be the next great receiver. Will Disley's playing really well. The Chargers didn't really run the ball effectively against Atlanta last week. But I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball against Kansas City, especially the Kansas City's run defense really good. But the Chiefs' defense has totally not been playing good for a few weeks because basically, they're letting teams hang around. Like, they're giving up big plays here and there. Offensively, they've been up and down a little bit. I think it's going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game. I'm just not sure if they're going to do enough, if the Chargers are going to be able to do enough to win offensively. Maybe they run the ball. Maybe they throw the ball. Who knows? Obviously, the Chargers do have a better run defense. Don't get me wrong. They have a better run defense. But, they're a top scoring defense. Don't get me wrong. Like, they're a top scoring defense in yards per attempt. And the Chiefs defense, I don't really know what it is, but as I look at it, so the Chiefs defense is ranked third in rushing yards, so which means they could have the best run defense. In passing yards, they're totally ranked as bottom 20. I mean, the Chiefs totally couldn't really run the ball last week. Like they couldn't. Like Isaiah Pacheco, literally had 44 yards against the Raiders defense. I expect them to have a better game because I feel like the Chiefs are going to run the ball better than the Chargers. Because since the Chargers don't got J.K. Dobbins, I don't think the Chargers are going to be effective run the ball. So I think they're going to rely upon Gus Edwards, which I don't know if he's going to be a factor though. Because last week he really wasn't a factor though. So basically, I think this game will be close, but I think the Chiefs are going to find a way to win this game. I think the Chargers find a way to cover. I think the Chiefs win by a field goal. Something like that. Like 23-20, 2017, something like that. Maybe 16-13, more like a lower scoring game. Or if both offenses start to break out, I feel like it could be a 30-27, something like that. I feel like it's going to be a lower scoring game though. More like so, yeah. So I take the Chiefs to win. I take the Chargers to cover because I feel like the Chiefs are the better team, has a better quarterback, better coaching. They're at home. So yeah, but I have a feeling the Chargers are just going to be due for a loss because they were fortunate to be on a winning streak. They were fortunate to be on a winning streak since week. The last loss was since week 7, and I feel like that the Chargers are just going to be due for a loss because the Chiefs, the Chargers were just fortunate, to beat the Falcons and all that. So yeah, so I think they'll keep it close. I think the Chargers cover, but I think the Chiefs win. All right, then last game Monday Night Football, we got the Cincinnati Bengals against the Dallas Cowboys. The Bengals are favored by 5.5. Obviously, this game right here can totally go either way, but here's the thing. The Bengals are on a losing streak, and the Cowboys won 2 straight. Now, the question is, can Cooper Rush find a way to at least win against the Bengals again? We'll see, because basically last time when these two teams played, it was kind of ugly, and the Cowboys did win with Cooper Rush in that game. But here's the thing. The Bengals, defenses had literally bad. We seen their defense got shredded by the Steelers, where they were giving up passing yards and big plays, and such like that. And then the Cowboys defense have been playing really well lately. Like, it has been. Like, since when Micah Parsons coming back did help. I feel like, getting DeMarcus Lawrence back could totally help. I mean, with their healthy defense, I feel like it can help them, find a way to like keep it close. But I don't really know, because we know the Bengals defense can't stop the run. Neither the Cowboys can't stop the run. But, Rico could totally have a good game, because he had a breakout game last week against the Giants. Like, can he do it again against Cincy? I don't know. But Chase Brown's been a really good running back lately. I expect him to be a factor. The Bengals defense, I feel like they're going to play better in this game. Dallas offensive line has so many injuries. So maybe with Zach Martin, being out for the year, that could totally help the Bengals pass rush, get to the quarterback. And then their secondary is really good. I feel like they'll find a way to stop the pass better. But we know that CeeDee Lamb, he's probably going to be a problem for the Bengals, but I have a feeling that, that Big Lou, I feel like he's going to be a lot smart enough to at least like play some defense in this game. I feel like they totally could keep it interesting though, but I have a feeling the Bengals are going to win because the Bengals are just a better team overall. They have the better quarterback. Like, if this was Dak Prescott, I can change my mind, but I'm just going with Joe Burrow because going with the Bengals and Joe Burrow, because I feel like the Bengals just need to respond here, and they need to start playing better on defense, and they want to win these games, because especially Joe Burrow's been balling out as well. Like, I feel like the Bengals are going to do it in this game, and I feel like Joe Burrow has a good game here. I feel like he bounced back huge, so I'm gonna take the Bengals to win, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys to cover because the Bengals defense, like I said, is prolifically atrocious, and I think the Cowboys are going to find a way to move the ball offensively through the air. I think the Bengals either win by a touchdown or maybe they win by a field goal. That's how I see it. So, yeah. So, by the way, I think the Bengals find a way to win this game like 30-23, something like that, or like 33-30, 30-26, 26-23, something like that. So, yeah, so I take the Cowboys with the points, but I take the Bengals to win the game. And they do need to win this game. They really want to keep their season alive. Because if they don't, they're done. So, yeah. Well, those are all my Week 14 predictions for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. And please be sure to like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos and my weekly predictions. So, yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.